abetting a crime, a high treason, and I was never searched. Nothing of that was done. I was just placed in custody. They didn't give me opportunity to go and take any of my clothes. I stayed in custody from Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday, they said, we are going to court. What were they expecting me to dress in? The only clothes available was my uniform. So I wore my uniform. In the full glare of the BNI officers, they took me into their vehicle and sent me to court. Could anybody blame me for going to court in uniform, or were they, excuse my language, expect me to go to court in my panties? This was some of the unprofessional approach of the BNI, which people didn't understand, and yet sought to attack a poor person who was so vulnerable and had been detained. If you arrest somebody, go and search the person, make sure that he has the appropriate clothes, and then put the uniform there. And then at the end of the day, you can now say, well, you can't wear this uniform, wear the whatever. And if I had another uniform, there was no way I was going to wear that. In any case, if I had decided that, look, I wasn't going to wear that uniform, could you have imagined what would happen? They will say, Agordzo refuses to go to court. So I wore my uniform and I went to court. And yet they came back blaming me for wearing that, including the prosecution team, the Attorney General's team, and other things. People just express their ignorance on some of these things. And sometimes I feel very bad about it. But I thank you for the opportunity to explain to the world that this was what happened. It was the unprofessional practice of the BNI at the time, now called NIB, that caused me to wear that. I see. In any case, they knew I was wearing it. And that was the only uniform or clothes available to me. Right. I couldn't have gone there without clothes. Without anything.
Now, so let's talk about what prosecution says is the genesis of all this. Yeah. Your relationship or association with the civil society group, Take Action Ghana. How did you get in touch with them? How did you begin this relationship?
I'm not surprised. Definitely the prosecution couldn't have told you the genesis was IDEC, of course. But I agree that they have to take it from TAG. I've already narrated the story that TAG, Dr. McPalm contacted me in November when I was traveling to Haiti on UN mission. I was then in Uganda, Entebbe, and I was doing a program there before. So I received a WhatsApp call from an unknown number. And then the person introduced himself as Dr. McPalm, who owned an NGO, is a medical officer who also owned an NGO. And the NGO, he was trying to explain to me what the NGO did or was doing at the time. So I said, okay, fine. If you have an NGO, send me the profile of the NGO. And because he wanted me to join them so that I could be part of it. So I said, send me the profile of the NGO. And when he sent me the profile of the NGO, amongst others, it was stated, and it is still stated, that it is democracy-oriented NGO, helping to mobilize people, civil society and other people to work towards development of the country and in advocacy, in education and other things. Based on that, I agreed. This profile was read in court on Wednesday as part of the reasons why I was acquitted and discharged. So based on that, I joined TAG. And I also joined a few other platforms, sub-platforms. On all the platforms that I joined, there was nothing discussed about coup d'etat or forceful removal of the government in power. Whatever we discussed was democratic issues, battling political vigilantes, and election violence, and all kinds of things. Those were the things, and how to ensure that our democracy works. Those were the things we discussed. And that is why till today, they have not been able to link me with any statement that I made or was suggested to have been made by Dr. McPalm against me.
I see, but prosecution also made use of the word Arab Springs a lot.
That's interesting.
How do you fit in that? Or how did they try to fit you in that?
Okay. The prosecution used the term, let me explain something. The prosecution used the term Arab Spring to say that it originated from me, and it's true.
Okay.
In one of our discussions with Dr. Makpam, he sought my views on Arab Spring. What is it? And do you think that it could happen in Ghana? I expressed my opinion on what it is and the fact that it could happen in Ghana, and that some of the signs are already present in Ghana. It was an opinion. In any case, remember, how many times have we not heard people in Ghana talked about Arab Spring? Were we not in Ghana here when a certain presidential candidate of a very important major party in this country used that term in a very famous radio station? Was he arrested?